Today I'm going to be installing a 17 Dodge Challenger. This is Ohio State, so everything's Ohio State. So right here, guy got an amp installed. There's a 4-channel amp, which is all kickers, and then 3600 watt kickers. Main thing that I see so far right now is the power. The power is not running right, so it's not getting enough power. And the ground, I don't understand why some people would run the ground wire all the way to the battery. You're not supposed to do that, to be honest with you. That's not how you run ground. So I'm gonna take everything off. Actually, I'm gonna do a speaker install, also a 6x9. I'm gonna start working on this first. And thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a 10mm. I'm gonna remove this ground. And remember, even though I removed this ground, however they installed, the way they installed this, they got the ground to the amp, which I never suggest anybody do the ground right there anyway. It's too long, it's too far for the ground. That's way too long. That's why this wire is like hot, still hot. And the as you probably seen the amp, it looked like it was melted. So I'm gonna remove this. Since I got the ground out already, I'm gonna remove this. As you can see, he ran a 4-gauge right there, and then he split the 4-gauge to 2 amps. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna run a 0-gauge. I'm gonna run it to here. I'm gonna give him another fuse holder. I'm gonna do 2 of them. One of them is gonna be 4-gauge, and then one of them gonna be 0-gauge. I'm gonna keep this for him. Put that 300 amp to 150 for the 4-channel amp over there. That's also kickers. And then I wonder where he ran the line out converter at. Line out converter is pretty simple. If you because he's using a factory right now, so I'll figure that out later. I'm gonna take a look at his line out converter. How did he run that? And I go from here. I'm gonna run 0-gauge through this line right there and run it out there. Actually, I probably run it really close to this power, so I don't actually put a screw right there and then hit one of this thing. That would not be good. So now I'm gonna cut this off and just keep one of the wire. I'm not sure what color it is yet. Well, I guess I can find out already. The red one I'm gonna keep, and then I'm gonna use this to 150, and then I'm gonna take this blue one out and then still keep this. And I want to confuse anyone, so I'm gonna run 0-gauge down in that hole right there, out there, and then run it to the amp. So here's when they ran the ground. They ran the ground from here. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut all of these right here. This is also ground. I'm gonna cut it right here so I don't have to do anything else. There. And then the next one for the 4-channel, all that I cut. So I'm gonna redo all that. Take this ground now. You don't want the ground this long, guys. This is like 6-7 feet long. Definitely don't want that ground. It must get so hot right here. You can see this kind of melted. I don't know if it's melted or just being stuff on it, like when the speakers on this thing. I don't think it's melted. It probably just getting hot, and I can't burn this rubber a little bit because this is just rubber, actually silicone or some sort of glue, stick glue or something. I'm not sure what that's called. Yeah, but as you can see right there, it was getting so hot. We're using PZG-GRKG. It's a positiveandground.com. You can go get that. It's pretty expensive. So this is all the tool that's needed. You got the anti-corrosion such and such. You got sander. You got that, and you got the bits, and then you got the screw, and you got the stop moving type deal. So all this come with it. I'm going to show you how to use this. I'm gonna use a hydraulic crimper. So what I'm gonna do, I just tighten this piece up right here to on, and then I put this in there. That's a smaller one, so I need a bigger, thicker one. I just change it to a bigger one right here. So, and then I should be able to push it in there, and then just press this and then crimp it. Once you're done, you just release it. As you can see, I'm crimp it. That's what they look like when it's done. I just wrap the this tape is called black hole tape. What it does, it's like a cloth tape. Now, first of all, I would like to show you where I'm going to put the amp at. This amp's a little bit too big to put it right here. I'm afraid that if I put it right here, it's going to touch this right there. When you close, it's going to go hit that one, and then it might be a short. So I'm going to try to see if I can adjust it like this. It'll work. But if not, I just put it on here and tell the customer to open at the same time. Right here on the corner right there, that's where I'm going to use the ground for the 0 gauge. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to run the power back this way instead. That way in case something happens, it won't hit anything right there. I'm not exactly sure, but I make sure I have about 2.5 feet or less, because I don't want to do it right here. I mean, you can do it right there, but I like it right here more. The metal is thicker right here. So I'm gonna use the bits right there. I'm gonna drill the hole right where I want it at, right there. Right here, I'm gonna drill a hole. Now I'm gonna put the brush in there and spin it. Right there, that come with the kits. So as you can see, I clean it really good. Just spin it a couple times. I'm gonna put a lock washer right there, and then put the nuts in the rings terminal and screwed it in. I don't need anti-corrosion because it's not gonna get wet here. Did I say nuts? It's bolt. Sometimes I don't know. I'm always confused with the nuts and bolt, but yeah, it's a bolt. That's what they look like. After it's done, you cannot even move a bit. So back at this, I already plugged it. I'm gonna use a 200 amp for the fuse, and then I will use 100 amp for the 4-channel, as you can see over there. Now this install is not made for look good. It's made for the right sound. I'll try to do my best, try to make it look good. But on here, the first thing you want to do, if you disconnect the battery, you always disconnect the ground first, okay? And then you do the power later, all right? If you're gonna change the battery, anything. Now, when you put it back, you want to do an opposite way. You want to put the power first and then the ground later. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run the all of these wire right there first, the power. I always want to bend this a little bit, right so. And then I'm gonna tape it really good right here. Now when you tie your positive side, negative, you don't want to over tighten it. I will put about approximately, I can't tell how many pounds it is because I'm using my hand. I said less than 15 pounds. Depend. When you get too tight, you stop. Don't force it. You'll break something, or if you push it too hard, you'll break this terminal right there, and then you're in deep trouble. You're gonna have to buy a customer battery. That's about $300 battery. So now I'm gonna put the ground. Everything all set. I'm gonna zip tie this right here to here, and then I'm gonna zip tie right here so it won't move. You put this back in. You want to make sure where your power wire at. See right here? So literally around here, they're all power wires. So you don't want to screw anything to around here. See how the last customer had it here? They screwed right there. So this is all right. This is good right here. I checked it. I mean, it's thick enough. You don't use a long screw, you'll be okay, but you have to be careful how thick it is, or you be screwed to right here, you're gonna damage a lot of stuff, pop all kinds of fuse, or even burn up the car. So be careful right here. I'm gonna put the speaker back in. So I got the jacks gonna go input right there, And then also running a base level control for the Kicker 1800.1. And I got ground, the one I made earlier, and then power to the battery and the remotes and the 4-channel amps. It's already installed, so this is done working. And let's see how it sounds. When I close it, I almost hit it, but I'm just so close to it. So I could have moved it a little bit more this way, but the problem is the power is kind of sticking out. So if they open that thing up and down, we're gonna have a problem. Wire gonna come loose and short up something. So that is Alpine type R right here.